Hey guys, Mr. Best again for Woods Runner chapter 13 through 18 vocabulary. If you will, make sure that you're writing these down in your journal. If you want to, you can wait till the end of the presentation and then write them down when I show mine. Okay, our first word, let me get it pulled up. Our first word today is brusque, and it is talking in an abrupt or direct way. So this man says, why don't you try on one of the boxes? Maybe that will fit. So the way he talked to the lady was, of course, not appropriate. It was blunt, abrupt, in a curt, offhand way, rough and short in manner, as a brusque clerk. The clerk was brusque with the customer about her shoe selection. Now, here is a manager yelling at his employee. The manager was brusque with his employee, even though the employee is a hard worker. So, talking in an abrupt, direct way. Okay, our next word is rampant. It means widespread or out of control. And I know all of you know what this mound right here is. Fire ants are becoming more and more rampant in our area. If you look how the weeds are overtaking this sign, it says the weeds have grown so rampant that the signs are becoming covered. Widespread or out of control. Okay, our next word is intently. You know a book is of high quality when the reader is intently engaged and cannot be distracted. So you see the boy is really paying attention to the book. You should listen intently in meetings as to not miss important information being delivered. You should also listen intently when you are doing assignments in class with eager attention. Okay, our next word is complexity. If you look at this roadway here, it says, I become nervous driving in big cities because of the complexity of the roadways. There's so many turns and roads overlapping roads. Some math problems are overwhelming due to the complexity of the steps involved. Y'all think our math is hard. Look at the complexity or the difficult to understand math problem here. Complexity is the state of being complicated or difficult to understand. The next is sparingly. If you use things sparingly, you use a little bit at a time or in moderation. The county urged its citizens to use water sparingly to prevent shortages during the drought. And sometimes this happens. We won't have rain for a long time, and they'll say that we're having a limit on the water. They'll tell you to please limit your usage. They want you to use it sparingly. My doctor suggested that using salt sparingly would help my blood pressure decrease because salt will increase your blood pressure. But if you use it sparingly, it will be better. Our next word is proximity, and proximity means being near to something. You can see how close the golf ball was to going in. The golfer was upset by the close proximity of his ball to the hole, and he would be upset because it didn't go in. The close proximity of McDonald's restaurants in New York City can be overwhelming. So here's New York City, and here is every little red dot here is a McDonald's that you can go to. Okay, so you can see, especially down here, it looks like they're just one on top of the other. The proximity of being close or near a McDonald's in New York City. Okay, now we're going to do chapter 16 through 18, the vocabulary for it. And remember, we're just going to stay on the same page. The first word is intentional. It means to do something on purpose. This person here has kicked the other person. And you can also be intentional about the things you choose to do, such as studying. This guy right here is studying for his college course, it looks like. And to be intentional means that you're going to be willful about it or deliberate. You're going to make time for it. After the intentional kick to his knee, the soccer player had a long recovery. One must be intentional about studying, always striving to make the best grades. Our next word is scuffling. It's rustling, shuffling, or fighting. My mom used to tell us to stop scuffling, but the animals here are scuffling so that you could not tell if they were playing or really fighting. That was sometimes a problem when I was growing up with my brothers. My parents didn't know, are they play fighting or real fighting? We were scuffling. The girl was scuffling through the leaves on the chilly fall morning. Our next word is interminable. Interminable. It means it's endless or everlasting. After walking down elementary school hallways for 6 years, middle school halls seem interminable. To terminate means to stop. Terminate means not stopping. Arid conditions while stranded in the desert makes the landscape feel interminable. And then I used to watch Lynn Chops play along, sing along when I was little, and this song would get stuck in our head. And it's called The Song That Doesn't End. It's endless and everlasting. It's interminable. So enjoy.
This is the song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend. Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever just because this is the song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend. Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was. And they'll continue singing it forever just because this is the song that doesn't end. How do I turn you off? It goes on and on, my friend. Okay. I get singing it, not knowing what it was. And they'll continue singing it forever. I can't believe you guys. This is the song that doesn't end. Okay. Yes, I got it. That's it. That's it. What are you doing? Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was. No, this song, this was the last time, right? This is the song. This is it. It goes on and on, my friend. Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was. Roll, singing it forever. Because it's on the song that doesn't end. This is the song that Charlie Horse. No, stop. Charlie, stop. I want you to go away. Go away. And don't slam the door.
As you can see, the song did end, but it seemed interminable. Our next word is inedible. It means that something is not able to be eaten, or it's unfit to be eaten, or it's unappetizing, which means it just doesn't look good to you, or it's unpalatable, meaning it doesn't taste good. Moldy bread is inedible because the mold may make you sick. Some inedible mushrooms look strikingly similar to edible ones. So, this is my disclaimer. Never pick and eat a mushroom in the wild because they can be very toxic for us. Our next word is wayward. The wayward son turned away from the teachings of his parents. Do not become wayward when hiking on a trail because there are many dangers, including snakes and bears. So being wayward, as you see in this sign, you're supposed to go straight, but somebody who went wayward would go the wrong way. It's turning away from what is right or proper, or wayward could mean being disobedient. To placate means to pacify or appease. Okay, so here's a chart that shows when you're getting children ready to visit the doctor, you should educate your child. Talk about what's going to happen, play with a toy medical kit, and read a book or watch a show about the doctor's visit. But many placate or pacify or appease their child by promising a treat or telling their child there won't be any shots. People often placate their children about doctor's visits with treats and promises. You can placate your teacher by doing all of your work without complaint, so you can pacify your teacher without doing your work. That is the end of the vocabulary for these chapters. Join me next time.